Morning, training session 2. I'm doing intervals today. So yesterday I did 10k, easy run, just to try and find out what the legs were doing and how things felt. Feel alright today, and I'm going to treat that as my very first training session of the block that I'm doing. So that was an easy run across 10k. The next one on the schedule is an interval session. Feeling strong enough to do it today, so I'm going to go for it. As an aside, Man vs Fat has been really kind of motivational for things like this. So I was sat in bed literally 5 minutes ago thinking, I had a drink last night. It was New Year's Eve last night, so it's New Year's Day today. Happy New Year. And yeah, I literally sat in bed thinking, I can't be bothered. I don't really fancy this today. But we had a challenge set at the start of the year to, I think it's 60,000 steps accumulated across the week. Usually, because of my work and whatnot, that's not a problem, but I'm on holiday at the moment, so trying to get those sorts of steps in has been a challenge. So I'm going to go and get on the treadmill and run. That little bit of motivation for me shows the benefit of Man vs Fat. It's something I probably wouldn't have had the motivation to do if I didn't have a goal at the end of it. So yeah, another one of the positives. Anyway, I'm procrastinating again. Time to go and get running. What are we doing today? So we're going to do a mixed pace interval session. It's a nice one, a nice window in really for an interval session. There's loads of things you can do for intervals. Essentially you're just trying to get your heart rate up and then give yourself time to recover several times over, so you are working in intervals. That's why it's called an interval session. I'm going to do a pyramid interval. This one I took from a YouTube channel. It's called This Messy Happy, and the bloke on there has forgotten more about running than I'll ever know. Just going to do a little warm up. Essentially I just do a little walk to get my legs warm, and then as we get warmer I'll do 5 minutes jogging at a real gentle pace just to get my legs nice and warm, and then we'll go into the actual interval sessions. So intervals, if you've not run them, they're quite nice. They essentially, nice is not the right term. They're a funny run, because when you think about doing them or going to do them, you kind of go, I don't want to do it. But when you get it done, you feel quite accomplished. Out of all of the different runs that I've found I've done, this is the one that brings your fitness up the most. Essentially, it's training your body and your heart to recover quickly, I think. I'm no scientist, but it definitely does the job. This is a pyramid session, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run for one pace. The pace I'm going to run at is my 5k pace, which I kind of, when I first found it, it was finger in the air, and the more you do it, the more you get used to what your 5k pace is. And the more you run, the more you can push yourself to go further. It will essentially be 1 minute at 5k pace, 30 seconds rest, 2 minute at 5k pace, 1 minute rest, 3 minutes 5k pace, minute and a half rest I think it is, 4 minutes at 5k, 2 minute rest, 5 minutes at 5k, 2.5 minute rest, then back down the other side, hence the pyramid. So then you're going to come back down to 4 minutes at 5k, 2 minute rest, 3 minute 5k, 1.5 minute rest, and then 2 minutes, 1 minute rest, and finally 1 minute at 5k, 30 second rest, and then I'll jog it down to warm down after that. Always hate the idea of this one and really enjoy it. It's much easier on a treadmill because you can dictate pace, but you get much more when you run outside if you're lucky enough to have access to a track. I've been able to do this on a track in the past. It's tougher, but you get so much more from it being outside and having to push and manage your own paces, whereas on a treadmill, I'd always recommend, if you have access to a treadmill and you're doing intervals for the first time, start on there just so you can get used to what it's going to feel like. I'll post on here the training session again, and I'll also try and post the details of this run so it's easier to pick apart. The other thing I do is, I'm lucky enough to have a Garmin and I can program my runs into that. If you're in a position where you've got that, do it. If you can program your workouts into your watches and get used to running with them, it makes such a difference because you just don't turn your brain on. You look at what your watch tells you to do, and then you run. Oh well, enough waffle. Wish me luck. I'll see you on the other side. warm up pace. Just being able to have a chat as you go. Come on. Time to push the pace, so minute at 5k pace, then a 30-second rest. That's the first one done. 30-second rest. You can bring it down to a walk if you want to. As soon as I haven't done intervals for a while, I am. But you can jog through if you want to as well. Then in 10 seconds, 15 seconds, we do it again, but this time 2 minutes. 2 minutes now. And that is intervals done. And this is what I look like and feel like after them. That was a really good session. It's a little walk down now to cool the knees off. They're really counterintuitive because an interval session feels like it's tougher than a long run. Like yesterday after a long run, I wasn't blowing out the bum or anything like that. Felt solid, but that continuous repetitive movement at the same pace really takes its toll on your legs, whereas an interval session, although you feel like this after it, actually apparently has less of an impact on your body. So it's a nice one to have in the middle of the week. So I do an average middle distance run, 10 to 12 at the start of the week, intervals in the middle, and then I'll do a long run, my first one in a long time, on Saturday or Sunday. The only hard thing I'm trying to work out is how to squeeze football into that. I suppose I could take out the intervals and do football instead, but we'll see. Anyway, that's enough of my waffle. Cheers for coming again. I'm still going to post up all of the gump I said I would, and much love, and it is New Year's Day, so Happy New Year.